to here, and then from here, of course, to the apex. That's what it's going to look like from the front. Now, and the reason being, of course, is you don't want any T-branches if you can help it. Another good thing is these whips back here that I'm using as sacrifice branches. Next year, if I don't get any back budding in the area I want, guess what? Here's my new branch. I can take these. These are so limber right now, it's not even funny. They're just like wiggle wire. Boom, right there. I'm not going to do it this year because I don't want to insult the tree too much. But next year, if I need to put a branch there, guess what? I got them. So I'm going to go ahead and do some branch selection now. Let me grab one of my tools. The tool I use is just a Kaiku, not expensive, Kaiku concave cutter. And start doing my branch selection here. I'm going to look at the tree from the front, of course, because you always want to look at it at the best angle possible. There's two branches here in one spot. I don't want to keep both of them because it'll put an unnecessary bulge there because you got two of them growing at a rapid pace in the same location. So I'm going to retain one and eliminate the other. I think I'm going to eliminate the larger one of the two, to be honest with you, because of where it's growing out on the tree. It's a little bit higher. Down here is where the bend is of the tree, and that's where the smaller one's growing from. Up here is a little bit higher in the tree. So if I do have a bulge here, I want it to be kind of in the area of the outward curve of the tree. So it looks more natural, so we're going to go ahead and eliminate this one here. When you do the elimination on the entire branch, just hack it back. These smaller branches don't matter much. It's not going to die back there in that area as long as you put some cut paste on it. I'm an advocate of cut paste. I've used it the whole time I've done trees and I've had great success with it. Some people don't use it. Some people swear you don't need it. I'm actually excited to say that I've got quite a few dormant buds down here, so I am going to have a branch down in this area. We've got a large gap between here and here, so I may end up thread grafting maybe a branch here and a branch here, and then we get up to the rest of these branches. This one here's got to go because, of course, I just said we're going to work on doing a little bit more carving in this area to kind of make that transition a little bit better. It almost looks like reverse tape. It actually is reverse taper, to be honest with you, right here in this area. So I need to do some cutting here. Save these two buds down here. These will end up being branches. So now we've got those. Keep this branch here. I mean, you got the T-branch thing going on again, but that's just because this is the training phase. This isn't the final tree's design. These two branches back here took a beating when I did the carving. I'm going to eliminate this one. And you got to be careful not to cut the one below it. I'm going to leave this little nub right here. It's going to branch out, and just for the more energy you can get into this area, the quicker this is going to heal. Keep this little guy, keep the rest of these down here just kind of as, this is sacrificial branches, but I am going to cut them back because number one, they'll ramify, and number two, it won't be so long, it'll be easier to move this tree. I'm going to get hit in the face all the time or poked in the eye. So we'll leave a little bit on them, and I'm going to show you exactly how I cut these. And I want to zoom in to do this, so let me zoom in up to these branches so I can show you what I mean about pruning these Japanese maples. A lot of the Japanese maple species are kind of, that'll work. Look at that in Barbie. Alright, this is the one we're working with here. Let me get this around to the front. Alright. This is the branch of the tree, and you can see we have bud, 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 bud. I hope you can see this. If not, it's for not. Okay, we have a bud here and a bud here, so when I cut this, I want to cut it there, and I want to leave, oh, I don't know, maybe an inch, inch and a half of stem. This inch, that allows you the necessary dye back to this bud, so if I was to cut it right at the bud, it's going to die back to the next one anyway. So if you know where you want this to be lengthwise, you cut it off at the next bud, let this die back, and then you have this situation. Where'd it go? Here it is. That's kind of what we did here. Hopefully you can see this one, where my hand is. We cut it back here, it's dyed back to the next set of buds, and then this year it's just a matter of pulling that off, and there you go. So that's how I trim Japanese maples. That's how everybody pretty much trims Japanese maples. That way they can ensure and kind of control where the dieback is going to be, so you can control the length of the branch that you want to have. Let's see, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I hate to cut these off because it's flowers, but who cares? I'm not worried about the flowers and the look of it at this point in time. I'm more worried about development. The flowers and the leaves and all the great stuff comes later. Alright, this upper portion of the tree is a mess. Turn around this way so you can see it, and let me go ahead and zoom back out. This upper portion is a mess. It's just got random branches everywhere. So now what we need to do is we need to figure out where we want our branches to be, number one. And number two, we want to have some kind of pattern going on. First branch, second branch, back branch, third branch, fourth branch, back branch. If you can, you want to make it kind of spiral up the tree. That way this pad's not being intruded by the pad directly above it. So you have pad, 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 pad. So they're not shadowing the pad below them, so all the branch structure is getting light from the sun when the sun beats down on it. I'm going to attempt, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not, but I'm thinking about keeping this branch here and bending it over this way to become a branch for this side of the tree. We'll see how that goes. If it breaks, no big deal. I'll just grow another or select another. Either way. But we know for sure we want to keep this branch here. We know for sure we want to keep this branch up here behind that you can't see right now. And we need a back branch somewhere in between those two. So we have that graduated step almost. Think of it as a spiral staircase, I guess you could say. That's how I try to set my branch structure on a tree. Almost as a spiral staircase that twists as it progressively goes upward. So we have this branch here, we have this branch here, so in between this branch and this branch, back here in this mess, we have to figure out where we want to branch. And that's going to be our back branch for the upper portion of the tree. This branch is the one I was talking about. I'm probably going to make it come down and out this way with some wiring here in a little while. So what I'm going to do is figure out, I know what I don't need, so that's the first things that get eliminated right off the bat is the obvious don't need branches, which is that one growing forward and straight from the back. I don't need let's see, what am I going to do here? I don't need this one, so let's go ahead and eliminate that one off the bat. I don't really need that one. What I'm looking at now is I constantly turn the tree around when I'm doing these branch selections so I can look at it from all angles just to make sure that what I'm cutting is definitely not necessary for the tree design. So make sure you do that. Don't just start hacking a bunch of branches off, because what looks bad from the back may look fabulous from the front, and if you remove it, you can't glue it back on. To an extent. There's some advanced techniques where if you can remove an entire branch from one part of it and stick it into another part of the tree, but myself and quite a few others aren't quite at that caliber yet, but we'll get there one day maybe. Until then, we'll use our techniques that we use. What do I want to use? It's kind of challenging because really, ideally, right here is where you want the back branch. And right here, there is no back branch. So I'm going to probably either move this one over or this one over, or I may keep both of these and just remove the rest of them. That way I have a decision later on. I can grow both of these out and kind of wire them in a position. And I may wire one down to this way a little bit and wire this one up and over this way. It's just to get that movement. So everything else that doesn't look necessary I'm going to remove. This has two branches here growing at the same location. I'm going to remove the higher one because there's tons of branches up here. Easy now. I'll remove both. Okay, that one's gone. We're keeping this one. Same thing goes over here. I'm keeping this one, so the rest of these aren't necessary.